Our unit this week is Animals at Home. What kind of places do these animals live in? We will talk about where animals live together. As you can see, we see penguins to start off, and each of our different stories this week will talk about different animals and where they live and how animals live together. Before we begin, I want us to make sure that we go over our sight words that we have for this week. Remember, they're very important because they're on a test at the end of the week, and we read them in all of our stories. So, to become a fluent reader, we need to recognize these words. Our first word is the word eat. Spell that with me, EAT. And the sentence says, chipmunks like to eat nuts. The next picture is a scary picture, and it is the word no. Spell the word no. N-O. A snake has no legs. The next word is of, and you see the eagle in the nest. The birds sit in a nest of twigs. At the top of the next page, we see the word under. Spell under. U-N-D-E-R. The sentence says they dive down under the water. And the last word is who. We've seen this word before. Spell it with me. W-H-O. And the sentence is, who can see the bug? As you are going through this, you can pause this and go back and read those words again. Make sure that you are making new cards to go in your kindergarten sight word box so that you have all of your kindergarten and first grade words together and you can keep studying those. All right. Our next page is the page that we come to each week before our story. Now, this week we have end blends. We have gone over beginning blends and we have worked on those since the beginning of school. Now we're going to look at blends that are at the end of words. The blends will be ND, NK, NT, SK, ST, and MP. Together, they make the ending sounds in land, drink, went, ask, rest, and damp. So what I want you to do now is just like we do in class together. You will put your finger on each word. We will first begin by sounding the words out, and then we will go back and read the words. Okay, let's begin. And asked, fast, jump, jump. Now let's read those now that we know what they are. And, fast, jump. Very good. Now let's go to the next line. If you can, and you should be able to put your finger under the word. Remember, that's tracking, and that's the way we keep up with where we are. Okay, let's read these words. Ready? Sound them out. And send. Desk, desk. Must, must. Now let's read them back. Send, desk, must. Okay, let's go to the third line. Ready? Hunt, hunt. Ask, mask. plant, plant. Now let's go back and read them. Hunt, mask, plant. All right, our very last line. Skunk, skunk, trunk, trunk, stamp, stamp. Now read those. Skunk, trunk, stamp. Very good. At this time, you might want to pause this and pick one word and give your family, the person that is helping you or listening to you go over this, just give them a sentence with that word. Very good. Now, if you will go to the top of the page, we will read these sentences together like we do in class. Put your finger under it. We will see if we can read these sentences. The skunk is plump and fast. We notice it has an exclamation mark at the end. Now read your next sentence. It will play and hunt. Very good. You might want to pause this and see if you can go back and read those two sentences without me. That would be great. Okay, now we are going to look at the bottom and we are going to sound these words out as well. These words are going to be words that we will see in the story. Okay, here we go. Best, best, plants, plants, nest, nest. Now read those words. Best, plants, nest. Okay, go to the next line. Trunk, trunk. Ants, ants. And. Now read those. Trunk, ants, and. Now go to the next line. Rest, rest. And sand. Stump, stump. Now let's read those words. Rest, sand, stump. Okay, next line. Ready? Jump, jump. Must, must. Hunts, hunts. Now read those. Jump, must, hunts. Last line. Dusk, dusk. Went, went. Skunk, skunk. Now let's read those words. Dusk, went, skunk. Great job. Now we will move on to our story and we will find words in our story that have these end blends. All right, the name of our story is The Best Spot. If we were in class, we would talk about, does this look like a fantasy story or a story that has real pictures and real animals? You think about that for a minute. Great. I hope you said that this would be a story that would be about real animals because we see the pictures, so it would be a nonfiction story. We're going to read about where do animals live together, and these animals are in the forest. You guessed it right. It's such a beautiful picture. Now then, we'll turn over together. Now, what I would like for you to do is to put your fingers under the words as we are reading together. Look at these beautiful pictures of these animals. Let's read together. This is a forest. This spot has lots of animals. Deer live here. They eat plants. But who is in the grass? A rabbit's head pops up. We see that exclamation mark. We see the words of and eat and who are three of our sight words for this week. And we're going to see more about the animals. So first we see one of the details in this story is that the deer live here and the rabbits live here. Okay, now let's look at our next page. All right, here we go. Let's read together. What is up there? Look up, up, up. It is a nest. The mom gets big bugs. Yum! I don't know if that sounds too yummy, but it looks like it does to the birds. Notice where the author wrote, look up, up, up. We know that lets us know that we are going to look very high up into the trees. Now, I noticed an end blend, and the end blend I see is in nest, and it is the ST. Then I see we're going to read about some other animals. They're not too many people's favorites. Let's read about those. What is on the trunk? It is a nest too. Lots of wasps live in it. Ooh, I don't love that picture too much. But we see that the wasps are in their nest. We had the bird's nest and the wasp's nest, and they look totally different. I see in the word trunk an N blend of NK. Now let's turn the page to see some other animals. Okay, so we see that we have some very strong but very small little animals. Let's read. Ants live here too. Ants pick up twigs and grass. Ants zip in and out. Ants have no rest. Ants dig under sand and grass. Notice this picture shows us how that the nest is labeled, and we've talked about that many times. It shows us where the ants are digging, the way into their nest, their food, where they store their food, the queen ant, and the eggs that will hatch and become baby ants. We also see two more sight words, no and under. Although no seems like a very easy word, sometimes we want to change it around to be the word on. So make sure that you look at that N first, and it is no. I see on this page that the word ants has the NT in blend. On this page, I see that sand has the ND ending. Here are some more animals that we see in the forest. Now let's read together. Fox kits hop on a stump. Mom fox lets the kits run and jump. The kits must eat. Dad fox hunts at dusk. Who went hunting too? A skunk. This spot has lots of animals. So we have seen many animals in this forest. I noticed the word stump, which the little foxes are standing on, has the MP at the end, which is an end blend. I also noticed that skunk has the NK at the end. And I'm sure that when we read this in class, you will all have some very interesting stories about skunks. Now, if we look at this page, this is what we would be doing in class to talk about. The main idea of the story that we just read, the main topic, lots of animals live in the forest because the story we just read was about all about animals in the forest. One detail that I remember in the story was that deer live in the forest and eat plants. Another detail was ants make their home under the ground. And another detail is some forest animals hunt at night. Remember, we look for details on each page as we're reading to help us remember what we've read in the story. Now, boys and girls, I want you to, you can pause this and you can you can just let me know that you have done this. You can submit your activity and let me know that you have gone through all of this, and you can move to your reading homework and the other activities that you need to do. Just make sure that you complete all the activities by tonight before you go to bed so that I can get those graded and checked that you did those.